So at the end of high school, I was getting some downloads. I didn't understand them as downloads. I think I was suffering a lot at the time, and this suffering was actually my growth, me, becoming a different person, in a very spiritual way. And there's reasons for me to suffer, but I think I also created some problems for myself at that point. I think at a deep consciousness level, I wanted to go on to the next thing. I wanted to say, fuck all this. This shit's over. Time for the next thing type thing. And I guess that's how it basically went. I mean, I think I had this deep recognition at a deep subconscious level that I needed to throw some things away in order to grow. And at the time I don't know, I felt like I was losing things. But I had a lot of powerful downloads and powerful concepts coming to me, like Manazar. I was just bored while we were watching, I think, Frankenstein. And I started to make this character, and yeah, I did the whole first page and a half, maybe 2 pages while watching Frankenstein. And I think this first story I'm working on is more inspired by Nosferatu, actually. I remember reading about Dracula, the original book by Bram Stoker, and feeling really inspired by the first few chapters. But I actually hated the rest of the book. I didn't like it at all. I think I skipped on reading the rest of it. I just could infer, or I could make inferences about. No, it's not even inferences, just guesses about what the rest of the book was going to be about. And so I didn't read the rest. I just took the test and passed. I think I got an A-. So, the other thing is I think I'd read some comic books about it, so I knew what happened. I could pass a memory test on it. But I got this idea about symbolism. And this is what I wanted to talk about now, is that they wanted us to take notes in the Bible class one Wednesday night, and they gave me a note sheet, and so I just heard this shit so many times, so I distilled it down into symbols, or not symbols, just words, but I put plus signs in between them and stuff to show the logical sort of succession of thought, and just to picture what they were saying. And I felt like I was I did the notes a little bit sarcastically and frustrated, but I felt that the notes were more powerful than if I had, done it some other way. I felt there's some special power with it. Well, I've been contemplating lately because thinking about the power of math, how all is number, according to Pythagoras, according to my friend Julian. And so now I'm thinking, well, if all is number, that's not simply saying that everything can be distilled into, actual numerals, but what are the numerals but variables that represent particular concepts, such as, I'm looking at one thing in front of me that's the number 1, but also 1 is a variable meaning Keter, or 5 is a variable meaning Mars, or whatever. So I thought back to when I did this thing. I'm thinking, if all is number, if all is to be distilled into these simplified forms, because, when you say, 4 plus 4 equals 8, you're thinking about 4 items plus 4 more items equals 8 items, and probably it's, 4 apples plus 4 apples, or 4 apples plus 4 oranges equals 8 fruit. You know, it's there's a lot of levels of concepts that goes into math. So it may be that this whole thing of all this number, of course, number is also counting. But what if it's not so much all is number, but all is symbol? If that's maybe the deeper truth that is coming through to me. And the key here is light codes, because a light code is within itself a whole concept. It's not representing a concept. It's not a facet of a concept. It actually is the concept. So, you know, the interesting opportunity that this realization, continuing from the last, I don't remember exactly where I left off, but basically the symbol, like, okay, take a concept like the feminine, okay, and the feminine is a symbol, okay, but take night or day, or you know, anything is a concept, can be, you know, made as a symbol, and then symbolic. The idea is taking language, because language is symbolic, of course, but taking it and making it actually a little more particular, and breaking language down into, you know, it's something about the way language is now is sort of illogical, because it's before the letters within the word, and this is of course invoking Kabbalah a little bit, but the letters within the word would inform the meaning of the word, and through the letters of the word you can see, okay, this, you know, from so many basic concepts come, you know, a ton of more complex concepts, and then from there you can sort of know that, like, a lot from the word, and the language is a whole evolution of thought of a society over a long period of time. Now, of course, it's not really like that. So, you know, so I think that's the problem that they want to solve. But also, this almost mathematical way of sorting through any kind of logic or line of reasoning, by making it almost look like a math problem, like, you know, if then almost, but like with plus signs and stuff, just making everything a lot more directly symbolic. And it's interesting that this is resurfacing to me now when I'm sort of agonizing about some of the symbolism of some secret societies and the too many layers and everything, is because, you know, there's just, I think the symbols need to be purified, and I think there's a lot of funny ideas and wrong ideas about things, something like that. But I think also it's not about making new symbols. It's about understanding the old ones, you know. So there's some work to be done there.